yeah, again, thank you so much.
Of course. Yes. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, first question, you are obviously from Syracuse, New York, and talk to me more about your background. You have such a interesting story of how your family came during the Vietnam War, and I also, I'm a family of immigrants, and I always think it's very special because you attest a lot of your hard work and resilience to your family, your parents. So talk to me about your upbringing and your family.
So, yes, my parents came over during the Vietnam War and they met here in the middle of central New York.
Mhm.
I was born and raised in Syracuse. My parents and I did not get along growing up. I think their lack in my life really helped me be driven to work hard for the things that I wanted because I was never really given anything. But we're all on good terms now. I mean, I help raise my sisters. So like, I'm like their parental figure and like they are the world to me. And like, I help them through getting school supplies and buying things for school and proms and stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I've had to take a lot of responsibility on it earlier in life. And I think that's why it drives me to be so hardworking. But
Absolutely. No, I think that's awesome. And I also come with a family of like sisters, and I have an oldest sister that also takes care of all of us in a lot of different ways. But as far as your sisters go, do they also live in Syracuse with you? With you?
they actually moved out because they went to school in Albany. So it's about 2 hours away
Oh,
from the city. So they live there now and are doing their thing, but they're like older now, so they don't want to hang out with me anymore.
okay. Everyone's probably busy in their own lives.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as, your family goes, that's awesome. And I think that it really shows a lot about you that you were able to take on these responsibilities and, of course, just take on this new life in New York. And from what it seems like, New York is definitely not the most easiest place to just settle in and just get adjusted. So I'm sure, that took some time. But as far as, I guess, you have learned a lot about hard work. Of course, you have had so many jobs. You're a landlord, I believe, insurance agent, correct? Also, real estate agent. You also have like your own marketing company. Talk about kind of how that is. I'm sure your days are so busy. I read in an interview where you know that your hours are pretty crazy with all the work that you do, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe this year or last year you made like over 3 million in sales with your property. That's awesome. Congrats.
So real estate, yeah, I can't even believe it during a pandemic. That was probably one of my highest achievements in my career.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have 6 jobs, and a lot of people when I tell them that they're like, "Why do you have 6 jobs? Like, there's no way. Like, is Instagram influencer like one of them?" And it's like I have actually like 6 legitimate jobs that I have to attend to. But yeah, I at an early age I knew that the only way that I would get the things that I wanted in my life, materialistic and the freedom, is to work really hard. So, beginning at 16, I was still in high school. I had 2 jobs, and then I've just adapted more jobs as I came in, just because I think that if there's time that I could be sitting, I think I could be using it to put effort into something else, something bigger, which is why I have so many feet in a lot of things. But I like it all. And like, it does sound overwhelming, but I don't think it's overwhelming. It does get overwhelming at times, but it just drives me to just do more every single day. Like even having 6 jobs now, I'm like, I'm not doing enough. Like I need to be doing more. So I think that's just my personality, but yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really impressed by the fact that even with 6 jobs and 6 current jobs, you're still wanting more. You're still wanting to achieve more. So that is really great. And I think I don't see why not. How you couldn't add a 7th job, 8th job, just because of how much you've, I guess, put into all these jobs already. That I'm sure some of them you're just second nature to. You've really acquired on how to do them. Um, I'm also a hopefully first time homeowner, going to be this year, I guess. Do you have any tips for anyone that will be a first time homeowner, and kind of just a general or maybe a really good tip that you feel like they should know before getting into that?
I would say just do your research, and that's why you have real estate agents to help you do the research because they have access to the databases.
Yeah.
But saving money is a huge thing. The reason why people don't buy houses or can't buy houses at a young age is because they don't have enough down payment. But with the FHA loans nowadays, especially with these interest rates, you only need 3.5% down. So And in Texas, you can get, oh my gosh, a freaking castle for like $400,000, and it's crazy. But I think just saving and budgeting is such a huge thing, and it's a huge thing even if you aren't planning on buying a house, you know. So on my Money Mantra Mondays, I release a budget like Excel sheet, and I just put all the formulas in and let everyone do that. I think that was my biggest change in my life of how I started saving money and budgeting everything right. Because I know exactly every penny that comes in and out of my life. I check all my accounts every hour just because of how often things change. But having it visually for me, it shows you that you actually make more money than you think you do, and you also spend more money than you think you do.
Yeah. And
So
I think your Money Mantra Mondays was the highlight reel that I saw, and it was of course different than a lot of other highlight reels that you see on different influencers pages, where it was just so, it's actually informative about your real world, real life. So I thought that was awesome that you do that and you continue to do that.
thank you. And that's the reason why I wanted a platform, is just to help educate people. Because I wish I had something to refer to when I was 17, doing everything by myself, something to help. Because it came with a lot of trial and error and tears and heartbreak of why am I doing things wrong at a young age. And I think that's why I was able to formulate the education that I have now. But that's why I want the platform. It's not to like show off that my outfit's cute, even though that's a huge plus on social media, because that's way too easy. And I think that's such a cop out thing to do, to use your platform for. Like, I was so privileged to get this opportunity where I have a big audience, and I want to make sure I'm contributing to these people's lives and not just another mindless scroll, you know?
No, I really respect that. I think that's so great, because honestly, I think with the amount of fans and, individuals that come out from watching The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and just this whole, reality TV or just TV show world, you want to be able to make some type of difference to the people that are following you. And yeah, you can show off your outfit, your makeup look, your hair look, and even some funny tidbits here and there. But at the end of the day, how can you help them in their real world, real life? So I thought your highlight reel was truly a great way to kind of just allow your fans and followers to be able to see that and to kind of implement that into their own life. So I respect that you do that. I think it's great. I myself will be continuing to follow along, so I'm excited.
Oh, thank you. I please know that from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you saying this and that you take time to read it, because I know that you don't have to read these things, you know. So, and the effort that I put into it, I really appreciate
Oh
that. So
yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. I'm excited because my husband and I have been checking out your page, and just in terms of all those extra tips too. And we're excited. I think it's a very positive way to look at everything. And yeah, that Excel spreadsheet was also very, very informative. I wish actually more people knew about it. I think that would be pretty helpful. But as far as, of course, your success goes and how hardworking you are day to day, as if you weren't already so busy enough, you decided to join The Bachelor as a contestant, and that's kind of how I'm assuming that you were able to grow your platform also a little bit more, because that's how I got to know who you are and how I got to kind of be introduced to you. But can you talk about that experience? Of course, it didn't work out at the end with Peter Weber. Was that whole experience for you to go on The Bachelor?
It was a crazy experience. It definitely is a once in a lifetime kind of thing. And for me, I think that because I am so busy, I dedicate all my time, my effort, and my energy into work, that I was not going to ever have time to date. And the only time that I would is if all of my jobs were to go away, you know? So I think that temporary time, the 2 months that I left for filming, just focusing on my relationship or trying, just helped open me up to the possibility of being with someone and finding my significant other, because I don't think I would have done it in my real life. Because as soon as I came back from filming, I literally hopped off the plane after getting broken up with and went straight to work.
Oh my God, I'm not surprised, Tammy. Honestly, from your life story and just kind of how you talk about your jobs, honestly, not surprised. Experience. I mean, of course, you were on there for quite a while. I think that, you were definitely very notorious for your one-liners and your awesome like facial expressions that I feel like we just need more of, because that's real and that's raw, and I think that's great. So yeah, how was that? How was that whole like?
I think my biggest downfall is my facial expressions. I don't think I could ever really lie, because it shows it on my face no matter what. But I like being a real person. You know, I don't want to ever be fake or like fake to someone's face and then
Of
talk
course.
crap about them behind their back. Like everyone was going to know how I felt about them from the
Yes.
get-go. Or I was never trying to be a tacky, you know,
Yeah.
but like the way things are edited and everything, of course it looks really bad, but everyone's okay now. So
Yes.
I made a lot of nice friends and like friends that I will have for the rest of my life that we can only share this experience with.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful for that, even though I didn't get the guy at the end.
Of course. No, I think that's such a positive way to look at it. And you had a TikTok where you were kind of reflecting back on your journey of how The Bachelor was. And it was beautiful because truly, at the end of the day, if nothing else, you do want to have a positive experience. You want to be able to look back and be able to gain these friends that you got to meet, even if you weren't, you know, even if you didn't end up with a guy at the end. And I think that that was your experience truly. And as someone that did watch you, and I'm sure a lot of your loyal fans and I can agree on this, but your honesty and your authenticity truly was something that I think Bachelor Nation does continue to need. And I think the downfall, of course, becomes the editing and just how they choose to portray certain things and looks and conversations. That is probably the most frustrating part of, I think, even us watching because
End of this, that this is a television show, you know, this is reality TV, so these things did happen. It's just how, I mean, think about like when you watch a movie, just soundtrack of the movie just changes the way you feel about the scene. Okay, just one little thing that is part of your senses, you know.
yes.
So I would just say take things with a grain of salt. The TikTok that I posted, I was really just grateful of the girls that I met and the relationships I had formed, even though it wasn't with Peter in the end. But I got a lot of backlash for that. They're like, well, weren't you the mean one? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, is it because we're so uncomfortable as Bachelor Nation not being able to see real authentic people? Like we only want to hear the sugar-coated version of things. And that's not how life works, you know? Life is not going to be sugar-coated all the time. You're not going to get along with your best friends all the time. I mean, what kind of true friendship would it be if you've never fought with your friends before? Because you're going to disagree. We're two different human beings. Like you're going to disagree on something at some point.
Of course. No, absolutely. And I think it would be too naive for anyone to ever think that that is a cookie cutter show and just everything is always perfect all the time. No, it's not going to be like that, especially the intensity of the environment and what you're essentially doing. You have multiple.
You're stressed out. You have no family, no friends around you that you know. You have no phone. You don't know what time it is. You don't have TV. Like it's just a very stressful environment.
Yeah.
And then you're dating this guy who you hope to be your husband, and he's dating 29 other people. So that's not an easy situation, no matter what, you know. So it's gonna be uncomfortable at some. Again, with Bachelor Nation, their demographic is primarily Caucasian, so like they're not so used to someone as a minority being loud,
Absolutely.
being controversial, calling people out. So it makes them really uncomfortable. And honestly, I can't blame them because that's what TV has been for decades, you know, or centuries rather, that it was just very, main character was always Caucasian and like everything was supposed to be revolved around them. And like, we're just secondary characters. And I'm not a secondary character type of personality. So that was never going to be it, even if I tried.
Of course. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Speaking of Bachelor Nation, though, of course, there are different spin-offs to the show. There is Bachelor in Paradise, you know, Bachelor Winter Games kind of happened one season. If they were to, or hey, even The Bachelor, if there is someone that you, Tammy, kind of pay attention to, there's this guy and you were like, okay, I could see myself maybe meeting him and getting to know him. Do you ever see yourself getting back on any of these other spin-off shows or even The Bachelor if you were asked?
I would definitely consider it. It depends on the timing, you know, to see if it works in my life. I'm not going to move things around just to be on TV for the sake of being on TV. I wanted to make sure it works in my situation and in my life at that moment. But I would consider it, yes.
Yeah. That's honest. I think that's super honest because at the end of the day, you know, I think the process does work where you do get to meet someone, however the situation is. So that's great to hear. So another thing that I actually really wanted to ask you about is you recently tweeted, I wish more than anything that Bachelor Nation not only talks the talk, but puts effort into their actions to make a legit change. This means fans, cast, producers, and network executives. of course, you're referring to the recent conversations that have been happening in Bachelor Nation, the controversy of it all. And I think, you kind of earlier, as you mentioned, it's hard when Bachelor Nation sees someone of minority speak up and, not be that shy, timid woman that just should sit back and relax. That's not going to be you if you decide that, if that's your personality, that's just not going to be it. But as far as diversity goes in Bachelor Nation, how do you think that could be improved more? Because it is important. We've all realized that, of course. But
yes, and I listen. It's a very tough time in the world right now, not just in the world in general, but also like in Bachelor Nation because of the situations that have been going on.
yeah.
But it really is up to the fans, and I try to always take a step out of the box and try to look in to see and do my own research to form my own opinion. I'm not one to always hop on the bandwagon. Like a lot of Bachelor Nation, what the problem is that they tend to hop on this hatred bandwagon, like let's cancel this person. People could not even know what's going on, be like, everyone's hating this person, let's go and grab our pitchforks and hate them too. Yeah. But as a business for the franchise, they only follow what the fans want. And the reason why it's taking so long to have a minority or a Black bachelorette or Black lead is because the fans were not reciprocating what they were saying. We could say all day long that we want a minority bachelorette, like we want to see change, like blah, blah, blah. But when the minority is actually a lead, why is it the lowest rating season? Like, look at Rachel's,
Yeah.
She's a great bachelorette. She's a great person. We do not deserve her. She's educated us this past 4 years aimlessly. But her season was the lowest ratings for viewers. So don't just like talk the talk and say, oh, I want this because everyone else wants this. You have to actually put in your effort as a viewer and a fan to make the numbers go up too and follow the minority casts. There's a reason why all the Caucasian casts have over 100,000 followers after the first episode, And why isn't...
Yeah, it's actually crazy because Rachel Lindsay doesn't even have 1 million followers yet on Instagram, which is
right. And every lead has hit 1 million. And I'm not saying that numbers mean anything, right. Like it doesn't define your worth, but that just says right there, the fans are not reciprocating what they're saying. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to call out the fans because people are so quick to blame easy people like Chris Harrison or the network and everything. And they do have a factor into the problem, but ultimately it is the fans. And I'm going to talk about more about this next week too on the Clickbait podcast. Okay. So I'm just so sick of people attacking people just for the sake of joining the bandwagon.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that. I think that's so important. And actually from a lot of the words and the conversations that a lot of different individuals in Bachelor Nation have been releasing, no one is really targeting kind of, fans, casting, producers, the way you kind of just tweeted out that simple tweet. Honestly, it's right. It's true.
As fans, try to make a change. Like not one person can make all this change. It takes all of us to make the big change that we want to see.
I will say though that people like you that did come on the show as a contestant, of course, you're part of that change. You're able to speak out. You're becoming a prevalent role in the show. You're doing all these things. They're casting Matt James. They're casting, Tayshia as a bachelorette. They're doing what they need to do. And you're right. Fans need to kind of support more. They need to not just look at the cookie cutter type of influencer and follow them on Instagram and keep up with their social media ads and all the stuff. They need to make sure it's equal and fair with everyone and not just stop watching the show if a person of color becomes the lead, because that's not right. Right. So I think that's a really good point that you're bringing up. And I think hopefully as we further progress into this, batch diversity campaign into, within Bachelor Nation, we make some progress, because I don't know if I'm sure you are, because I'm just a fan that watches it, but you're actually part of Bachelor Nation. You're ready for that at this point. You want that, even if you feel like
long time coming. We need it. Not actually want it. We actually need it.
Yes.
Because look at this. We're in 2021, and why are we still having this conversation?
Yeah.
Why is it such a huge issue?
Absolutely.
That's the problem.
Yes. I agree, and I'm excited to. Actually looking forward to your appearance on Clickbait. It's such a wonderful podcast, and I would love for you to talk more about this because truly it is a good conversation. It's a needed conversation, and I wish everyone would honestly have conversations like this because this is the
I feel
real
like
stuff.
people are going to expect me to be on the cookie cutter bandwagon and just say, yeah, I hate everyone. Like, let's cancel XYZ. But I'm not going to do that. And that's coming from a minority, you know? Like, if we want to see change, we have to do it right. And we can't be cancel culturing everything.
Yeah, I agree. Because if you're cancel culturing everything, how would we feel if we made a mistake and people just were quick to just cancel us? I mean, that's not how it works, at the end of the day. But I'm excited for that conversation to hear more about what you have to say about that. As far as, your platform goes, of course, there's so many different people and followers that follow your work on Instagram or your YouTube channel, your TikTok, all the work that you do. What is something that you would like to say to your fans that have seen you on The Bachelor or just in general do keep up with your life? What is something positive that you would like for everyone to know?
I just want everyone to know, like, I wish I could meet every single person that has supported me because it means the world. And like, I'm not just saying that, just be like, oh my God, thank you guys. Like, I truly listen to the words that they say, and I try to grow as a person and see what I can do to be a contribution to their life, as much as their contribution to my life.
Mhm.
And so they mean a lot to me, and I really thank you guys so much. And please know that this is not the end for me, and there will be more, and I will continue to be authentically myself and learn from my past mistakes. So thank you so much for the grace that people have given, and I hope that this is just the beginning.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And before we kind of end our interview, I have a quick little segment called Rapid Roses where I want to just ask you kind of just some quick questions. I didn't, prepare a lot. It's just some questions really. But when you think of someone that inspires you, who is that or what is that?
Oh my gosh, I feel like so many people. I try to get inspired from every person that I meet, just because I think that people cross paths for a reason. It doesn't have to be just someone famous, but just every person that we've all encountered has some point of why we met these people, and that's what I try to take from people.
That's awesome. That's great because truly, yeah, everyone that you do meet does play a role in your inspiration for day to day. And I think that builds your life into what you could do tomorrow, essentially. Okay, another question is what is your current favorite book?
Ooh, I like the Jen Sin. I forgot her name, but she is the "You're a Badass at Making Money."
Okay. Oh,
That
yes.
book, yeah, she's really good. I love that book. I've read it 3 times. And her other one too. I think the yellow cover one. A lot of the girls on my season were reading the yellow cover one. I forgot what it's called. I'm drawing a blank, but I love the money making one. And she has a various line of that kind of book for like different points in your life. So, okay. You are a badass at making
Oh,
money.
there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
So there's a one that she has that's a yellow one. I think it says you're a badass at like being happy or something like
Okay,
that.
yes. You're so right. That's a wonderful recommendation. That is great.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's one of those authors that I truly feel like, again, kind of what I compare to you, they are trying to make a difference in this world. They're trying to put out some good information out there, of course. Another question that I have is obviously COVID happened and quarantining became a whole thing. But what was your favorite quarantine snack?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be so basic, but I love the whipped coffee in the beginning.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that just brings the nostalgia from like early 2020. That's probably my favorite. And then right now that feta pasta that
Ooh.
everyone's doing,
Have you
oh,
attempted
that's
it?
really good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. It's honestly, it kind of lives up to its hype and the way TikTok users make it seem, it looks so easy to just make and yeah, I've made it before too and it's great. It tastes.
TikTok has taken over my life during COVID, and I don't think without COVID I would have never even downloaded the app.
I know you had a TikTok about you being in it was actually really funny. You were in the bathroom and I think someone next
Okay,
to
a
you.
woman was like telling her daughter that I was like ugly and she didn't think I was Vietnamese. A lot of people mistake me for like Filipino sometimes or Korean.
Okay.
And I'm like, thank you. But no, Asian people are relentless and like, oh my gosh. I was like not even surprised, but I was kind of shocked that she said it.
Yeah.
Like that. So I'm like, screw you. Like, what the heck?
Yeah, that TikTok went viral for sure because it was real. It was like, what? That was so random. Why did that happen? But as far as my rapid questions goes, those are really it. Tammy, thank you so much for coming on here. I really appreciate you kind of taking a chance on this interview. And I'm excited to just kind of release this information for, other fellows of Bachelor Nation to kind of get to know you more. I know that you also came on Bachelor Happy Hour after Peter's season. And I thought that conversation was also really great because you were just so real and raw. I think everyone thinks it, but the difference is you are saying it. So I appreciate that. I think a lot of us do appreciate you speaking out and being so honest. But thank you so much for today. I really appreciate this interview. I'll go ahead and
Rooting for you. So I love when like sort of a podcast, like I think you're going to be very, very big. I think you're very good at what you do. So I'm very excited to see you excel. And can't wait to listen to other Bachelor Nation interviews that you have.
Yay. No, I'm so excited. I feel like I cannot wait to keep up with your work and just your Money Mantra Mondays. I truly feel like as a homeowner, future homeowner, I'm going to just get into this and really, really dig deep into all of the content that you have. But I hope you have a wonderful day and just please take care. And yeah, I'm excited to continue supporting you. So
awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day and a great
yes,
day.
happy Valentine's Day, Tammy.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye.